So hello students, welcome to EduTap and welcome to another session of ARD Static. Today we will be studying about the lecture 11 and we will discuss today forestry. And even in the forestry we know it's a wide subject, so we will talk about the social forestry. Many times it has been seen both in prelims and main the questions come from social forestry. Even the descriptive writing you can find the question given about the social forestry. That is why we have picked this topic, because it is very important for both your phases, okay, for both phases of NABARD examination. So let's start our lecture, but before that, do remember today we have another announcement. I think most of you who regularly join us do know that we have launched a very concise and very precise book. That's a complete guidebook about the NABARD examination. If you are preparing for NABARD examination, let's say grade A assistant manager exam, okay. Good afternoon everyone. So where you see what the problem is, we have asked to many students, okay. Many students have came to us asking about that problem, that they don't have any source. They'll have to, for each question, like how to prepare for NABARD examination, what is the syllabus for NABARD examination, what cutoff is there for NABARD examination. They go to various sources, okay. For one topic they'll have to pick one video or go to some blog or download some PDF. So what we have done from our side, we have prepared in a very comprehensive manner. We have brought this book to you, as you can see in your screen. So in this book, whatever question you have, you will find it. Even the question that might not come in your mind, you will find the information regarding that in the in this book. Now how you can download this book? So this book is absolutely free. Go to the description box, check the link given in the description box and download this PDF, okay. And you will be surprised to see how many things are there, okay. Not only for preparation of exam, after preparation of exam, okay. If interview is there, how you can prepare for interview, what are the sources if you will have to go for, okay. What are the hierarchy in NABARD examination? If promotion happen, what will you become after that, and what is the path after that? So everything is there to know. You will find this in the guidebook. So let's start our lecture. So today we are again talking about the social forestry. That is very important for your NABARD examination. And talking about the first question, you can see social forestry is the practice of forestry on the land outside the conventional forest. Conventional forest area for the benefit of the rural and urban community. Of course, both. The term social forestry was first coined by whom? So these are your options. You will have to term who was the one. Good afternoon. So who is the one to use the term social forestry? That is your question, okay. So we can see the options here. So among that, try to guess it. Even if you don't know the answer, try to just guess the answer. I think you'll be able to get it. And if you don't know it, don't worry. I do recommend that it is a little particular. Topic wise, you'll have to go a little deep. So if you don't know the answer, don't worry. We will explain it. Okay. But if you want to, try it or guess it, just tukka bhi marna hai, just go for it. Okay. Okay. C by guess. No worries. Good afternoon, everyone. You can guess it. No problem is there. The correct answer will be your option D. That will be your JC Westboy. Okay, Westoby. So asking about this particularly term and understanding what social forestry is. Talking about the introduction, who used the term in India. So let's discuss it. So as we can see, very good. Albert has given the correct answer. Very good, Albert. So social forestry is the practice of forestry on land outside the conventional forest, as we have discussed in the question itself. So if you are doing the forestry, let's say this is your forest area. It means it is written in the government paper and usually people refer it as a forest. So anything you do outside this will be your social forestry, okay, or anything outside the conventional forestry is your social forestry. Now why you will do it? So this is for the good of both rural society and your urban society. So we can see the term first was used by J.C. Westoby. Okay, so first recognize importance. Then if we are talking about India, there is National Commission on Agriculture 1976 that has used the term or accepted the term and done the work in the field of social forestry. As you can see, objective you can see why that was there, social scope that we will discuss, and you can see in mid 1980, the concept of social forestry was finally firmly established. It means it was well accepted and known, okay, for forestry of the people. And now in an easy language, how we can say what is social forestry? Social forestry can be said as it is forestry of the people, by the people, for the people. So going by the social forestry, if you can't remember this particular definition, this is the easy one, go for this one, okay. Now moving to the next question. So which of the following is included in the scope of this social forestry? So we have talked about that the NCA talked about the scope of social forestry. It means social forestry can be performed in which areas. Okay, but let's say in transportation you can't apply the social forestry. Okay, when we are talking about intensive agriculture, you can't go for the social forestry. So what are the field where the social forestry get a let's say it get a chance or a scope? So so most of you, so Albert had answered option E, that is all of the above, but these are your three main option: community forest, farm forestry and agroforestry. You'll have to tell where is the social forestry lies. Okay, so as I can see, most of you are going with the option E, that is all of the above. But see, a little trick is agroforestry is not the part of the social forestry. Okay, when we talk about agroforestry, we are focusing on both agriculture and forestry. And when we are talking about social forestry, we are focusing on forestry and how it can be used to benefit people. So that is why there's a little difference, and the correct answer will be your option. It will not be all of the above. It will be your both A and B. That is option D. Okay, community forest and farm forestry. So moving to the explanation part, you can see the scope as given by the NCA 1976. These are the scopes. So farm forestry is where you can perform your social forestry. Then there is extension forestry, community woodlot. It will also be known as community forestry. Okay, don't get confused. This is the same thing. So rehabilitation of degraded forest and recreational forestry. So these five are the scope of the social forestry. Discussing them one by one. Very good. Sunny has provided the correct answer. Discussing them one by one. So first of all, let's cover the first question. Dash practice of forestry in all aspects of the farms of the village land, generally integrated with other farm operation, will be known as what? So these are your options. You will have to tell. See, farms we are saying are agriculture, okay, operational holdings. So these are the land where actual agriculture happens. Okay, net sown area, gross sown area that we talked about, that is your farms. So you'll have to tell if we are doing the forestry as well as farm operation. So you will have to tell what will be that called. So these are your option: community, extension, farm, community. Community is repeated, so we can exclude the D option. So A and B both. So do let me know what can be the answer. Also, this is question number 3. Okay. Just try to guess it even if you don't know. Rajeshwari is going with the farm forestry. So most of you are going with the Sunny has also said farm forestry. That is absolutely correct. Farm forestry will be the correct answer. Okay. Discussing the farm forestry and what lies in. So first of all, define. If we know the definition, we'll be able to easily guess the answer or get the answer. So both things can happen. So talking about the basic, what is farm forestry as defined by NCA? Practice of forestry in all aspect of farm, village land, generally integrated with other farm operations. See, this is a little coded. So to expand it, we can say the farm forestry is a practice of forestry on farm in land. Planting some trees, and beside that there's an advantage to it. Okay, either you are going for it or not, that doesn't matter, but windbreak is happening. It means it is preventing the soil erosion that can happen, the wind harm that can happen to our plants or our farm. If you have planted the trees in the boundaries of the farm, so it can prevent it. Okay, the air will be the velocity, because see, here are trees, and what tree will do? It will break the wind velocity. So because of that, they will act as the wind break. So you will have to tell which are the wind break, which are the protective vegetal screenings around the farm and orchards, raising 1 or 2 lines by the fairly close shrubs and close with the shrubs in between. So you can do that. Okay, so this was your farm forestry. So moving to the next one, which of the following is not included in the scope of extension forestry? So now we are discussing the extension forestry. So I will tell you what extension forestry is once we reach to the explanation part. But here we are trying to know what will be the scope. So your option are mixed windbreak. This is mixed forestry. Okay. So windbreak, shelter break, linear strip plantation, or recreational forestry. So you will have to tell which is not included. So there are basically 4 parts in extension forestry. 5 options are here. One you'll have to tell which will not, one will not be the answer. Okay, again, the question have come from the forestry part, especially the social forestry. this can happen that this was the last time. Okay, so it can also happen that the question come from the specific part, because see, we have discussed ki the social forestry that we are talking about further has divisions. Okay, so that is why we are discussing it. So answer has started to come. So okay, all range of answers are coming. So I'll just tell you the correct answer will be recreational forestry. That will not be the scope, the forestry that will provide a scope to the extension forestry. Now we will discuss what is the extension forestry first of all. So you can see it is the practice. So see, this is the area. This is your forest. What you are doing, you are extending it. So the area where let's say there is a public land, railways are there, okay, railway tracks are there, roads are there, so you are planting the tree, the forest tree beside them where there is a land present. So in that case we will say where the total division divide of the land, trees type of land is present and other vegetation is not there. So you are, what you are doing, away from conventional forestry, you are planting the trees. So that will be your extension forestry. Go by the name. So that is why you will not be able to forget it. So this is conventional forest, you have extended it wherever you can. Okay, so that becomes your extension forestry. So it can be mixed forestry. So this is the forestry for raising the fodder grass with the scattered fodder trees. Okay, so what you are doing, whatever plantation you have, let's say pastures you have there, you are taking the trees, forest trees. Okay, and the tree will also provide you fuel wood and other things, and fodder will be used to feed your animals. Okay, that can be done in the wastelands, panchayat lands, village common lands. So there they can be used in the mixed forestry. So do remember, when we are talking about the mixed forestry, we are doing forestry plus the fodder grass. So this will be easy to remember. Talking about the windbreak. See, windbreak we have discussed in the last farm forestry too. But what is the difference when we are talking about the extension forestry and farm forestry? See, here we are talking about what? Scope. So there is no hard and fast rule कि mixed windbreak can be here and cannot be there. वो तो पहले आ गया. Why it is here? See, scope can happen in both. If you are eligible to give the NABARD examination, you are also eligible to give the RBI examination. NABARD will not be like, okay, you have filled the form of RBI, don't go for NABARD. Similar kind of thing is here. So when we are talking about the farm forestry, how we can perform the social forestry? So in the boundaries, what we are doing, we are planting the tree. When we are doing that, we are also extending the forest. This is my conventional forest and I am taking the tree to my farmlands. So again, this becomes your extension forestry. So windbreak is also a scope for the extension forestry. You can see what we do. Protective planting around the garden or farm field is done. Here you have to remember the value. It is usually consists of 2 to 3 rows of tree. Okay, spacing is given, 0.5 meter will be there to 2.5 depending upon the canopy. Depending on the species. Okay, so this is the two scope of your extension forestry. Discussing the other two, that are your shelter belts first of all. So these are the belt of tree maintained for the purpose of sheltering your plant from different agents, as you can see. Or the shelter belts are the wide belts of trees, shrubs and grasses, goes right across the land at right angle in the direction of prevailing wind. Do remember this term, direction of prevailing wind. In order, what will be the benefit of the shelter break? First of all, wind velocity will be reduced, the wind current will be deflected, and public property on the leeway side. Okay, ठीक है, जिस side से wind आ रही है, so opposite to that. So let's say this is your tree, wind is from here, so this side of public property will be good, okay, or will be protected. So this was about your shelter belt, sorry. Then talking about the linear strip plantation, these are the plantation of fast growing species, okay, on the land, public road, canal, railways, again we can use them. So this become your extension forestry. I hope everything is clear. Again, when we are talking about the division of extension forest, social forestry, we are talking about the scope. So don't be like कि अगर ये इसमें आ गया, why it is coming, why if it is in the farm forestry, why it is also in the extension forestry? Because see, this particular shelter belts and the windbreak that we are talking about are working as to protect the farm, as well as they are also a part of the extension forestry. Okay, see, the difference mainly here is these are more intensive. Okay, let's say here what we are taking the tree that don't have too much height, okay, and they are too dense, let's say. So they are doing, when we are talking about the shelter belts, they are mainly grown in the area of high wind erosion. Okay, So these are more intensive covering to the the windbreaks. So in windbreak, what happened? Windbreak, 2 or 3 rows are there. Also, the trees will be very large. Okay, so the main protection comes from the stem part, and that are not too wide. So some scope is there that can be done where the wind erosion is kind of moderate, low to moderate. But shelter bed are exclusively used where the wind erosion is very high and they are very intensive while protecting or breaking the wind speed. Okay, so that was about the shelter bed, and we have discussed about the linear strip plantation too. Now let's move to the next question. So, which of the following is the practice of forestry which with the object of raising avenue, flowering plant and shrub mainly to serve as the recreational forest for the urban and rural population? So these are your options. Again, seems like very easy, but you have given the NABARD examination, I hope, or if you haven't given the NABARD examination, do check the PYQs. Okay, previous year question, do check. You will find even when in the paper question come very easy, you can easily guess it, but the options are very alluring, so you get confused. So that is why this question is here. Do try to attempt it. Here we are talking about if you are beside you are doing the forestry, but the purpose is not basically to get something out of it. Let's say it is not to get wood and other, rather it is for raising the avenue, flowering trees, shrubs. So that one for let's say aesthetic purpose. So Albert is going with the recreational forestry, and that is absolutely correct. Very good. Okay, Sunny has also provided the answer, recreational forestry. This is absolutely correct. Recreational forestry will be the answer, and we have also discussed it when we talked about the scope of social forestry. Okay, so this was that. Discussing the first of all, let's go to the community woodlot. You can also call it, or you will also find written it somewhere written wood. Sorry, not wood. Community forestry. Okay. So community forestry you will see. So community woodlot is a similar thing. It consists of a plantation of few wood species on a community village land, where again villagers will be easily able to get use of this tree, and they will get fodder out of it, they will get wood out of it. If let's say fruit is there, mahua is there, so this kind of things they can get from this tree if we are talking about the community woodlot or community forestry. Okay, they are basically for the benefit of the rural community. Talking about the recreation forestry that we have talked about, again here we have talked about the purpose. So this kind of forestry is also known as aesthetic forestry, which is defined as the practice of forestry with the object of developing and maintaining the forest of the high scenic value. So your purpose here is that the land should look good. Okay, you are doing the forestry not for protecting the plant in the farm, not for getting the product out of it. You just want your farm to be look beautiful. So that is why we call it aesthetic forestry or the recreation forestry. Okay, so this is quite easy to understand here. But again, if you go for the NABARD examination, when you will be in the giving the exam, so pressure is too much high. That is why I'll recommend you, even when the thing seems easy, just read it once. Okay, moving to the next question. So which of the following is the objective of rehabilitation of degraded forest? So these are your options. You will have to tell which of the following is the objective. Okay, so again name can tell you what we are doing. We are trying to rehabilitate. It means we are planting more trees in a degraded forest. So forests are at some stage, let's say there is some deforestation and forest is in the very bad condition. So what we are doing, we are planting the natural tree there so that they can regain the health. So these are your options. Do read it and try to guess the correct answer. Okay, so answer started coming. Option E. Okay, Sunny is also going with the option E. Very good. Okay, okay, Madhvi is also answering E. That is absolutely correct. Okay, the correct answer, all of these are the objective of the rehabilitation of the degraded forest. I think again by the name you can easily guess what it is defining. So rehabilitating the degraded land, as I have discussed. So the component, third component the interim report of NCA again in 1976 suggested that reforestation of degraded land, it can be achieved through the following objectives. So these are the objectives they were given. There basically 5 objectives are there. Okay, so short rotation fuel timber species for meeting the requirement. Again, whenever you are trying to socially and sustainably let's say treat something, don't try to avoid the social needs. See, if you go for hardcore preservation or sustainability, or let's say you have totally protected the land, what will happen? People will suffer, and then they'll do poaching and all. Because of that, the problem will, rather than getting decreased, it will increase. So in that case, that is why also do take care of the requirement. Okay, that was given by the NCA. Then to organize the fuel wood species at a reasonable rate. This will prevent the, again, reasonable rate should be there for fuel wood, so that people won't go and cut the trees. If the tree will cost 500, let's say, kg, rather than going for this price, they will say, okay, let's cut a tree and pay the fine of 100 rupees. Okay, so that kind of mentality will grow. To tie the degraded land area with the nearby, again, social duty is happening here. So you are giving duty to a certain group or a certain center, because see what they have knowledge of the ground root level. Okay, they are residing in a community and they know the community. That is why local participation is very important. So third point is talking about the local participation. Then again, employment generation of course will happen. Then to rehabilitate the degraded forest, of course the process will start once you have started doing this points. Okay, so this was about the degraded forest. Now one question comes, then what is the difference between your social forestry and your agroforestry? So we will discuss these differences, but once we have covered this question. So dash is a system which is rather localized in its concept, okay, for managing the unit of land for maximized production of agriculture crop and forestry complementary with each other. So you will have to know the term for what, when the concerning land is being used for both agriculture as well as forestry. So we are giving equal preference to both and they both are compatible. Okay, there is no competition, or whether say they are helping each other to grow. So you'll have to tell what will be the term that we use. Will it be social forestry, agroforestry, community forestry, or none of the above? So very good. So Albert and Rajeshwari both has given the correct answer. Okay, Sunny has also provided the correct answer. Madhvi, very good. So agroforestry is the correct answer. That is option B. Okay, discussing this particular question and what are the difference between agroforestry and social forestry. So as you can see, social forestry, when we talk about, here our main objective is to protect forest to fulfill the need of the social group, that is urban group or the let's say rural groups. Okay, so here we are doing that. So how you can do that? Let's say the wood is there, the cow dung can be used in the fields, timber is getting used for the house. Okay, but we are not let's say we are not thinking commercially. Okay, Chanchal has also provided the correct answer. But when we are talking about the agroforestry, what is happening here? The sustainable land management is there. Why? We are increasing the overall production of the land. It means when you are planting a tree, the main aim is to either protect the farm so that productivity can be increased, or let's say the trees themselves are good for the farm. So okay, so patterns are there, compatibility, scene management practices are there when we are talking about the agroforestry. So this is the basic difference between agroforestry and social forestry. Again, if you go for descriptive writing and the difference come, or let's say you will have to okay, difference between the social forestry and agroforestry. So this point will help you. Again, then again, how we can define it? It is forestry of the people, by the people, for the people. Here we can't say that, because again, what we are trying to do, we are trying to maximize the profit that we can gain from a certain land by using forestry as well as by doing farming. Then planting the tree in a massive scale is done in the vacant area community. Again, we have talked about, because why? Extension we are doing. Wherever there are no trees, we are planting the trees. Here, the practice in the private land. Okay, farmers can do agroforestry in their private land. Mainly the tree and shrubs used for the harvest of multi-products. It involves integration of 2 or more than the component of the land in the same time. So this is the basic difference between your social forestry and agroforestry. Try to pause the video. You can take the screenshot or you can download the PDF from our Telegram channel too. Okay, try to study it. This is very important for your mains of your NABARD examination too. So this was it about the forestry topic. If you have any okay, homework question time. So this was as we have discussed about the social forestry, every component we have discussed, what is the scope we have discussed, who given the term we have discussed. So try to memorize it, okay, as much as you can. So here the sesame is found in the many part of India, up to 900 meters, some Himalayan track, at occasional ascending to 1500. What is the scientific name of sesame? Again, for this question, do a little research and try to answer it, okay. This is your homework question. I want the answer to be in the comment section, not in the chat section. Try to answer it, okay. Because we have seen the name of teak was asked this time from the forestry part. That's why I have added this question. Now moving to the revision question. Your revision question are layers attain the sexual maturity around dash weeks. So here layers were your egg producing poultry bird, okay. Basically they are cultivated for egg production. These are the time period given in the weeks. You will have to tell which one will be the correct answer, okay. So these are your option: 20 to 22, 30 to 35, 13 to 17, 32 to 40, 35 to 45. If you want to know the answer, check this particular video, lecture 9 we have discussed. It was the last slide, okay. Here we discussed about the sexual difference between both broiler and the layers, and the maturity and the weight of theirs when they are harvested. So that was it for the lecture. I hope you like the lecture. If you are new here too, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want the PDF of this video or any video in our channel, you can join our Telegram channel too, okay, where PDF will be uploaded in next 24 hours. So this was it for the lecture. If you have any doubt, any query regarding NABARD examination, SEBI or RBI, do remember to write to us, okay. And you can visit our website too. Thank you so much. Okay, I won't be giving the answer, but I think you people are wrong, but let's see. It's up to you, do check it. Okay, so that was it for the class. I hope you'll have a good day. Okay, thank you so much.